Welcome to the Double Chins Wagon podcast, where Rae and Lindsey discuss the absurdities of being millennial moms in rural America and the challenges of living authentically. Please leave a review, subscribe, and interact with us by visiting doublechinswagon.com. Now we hope you enjoy the show.
Okay. And my note, and I had notebooks. I can write things down.
Very smart.
Yeah, I tend to make a fair amount of notes when we're chatting, but I'm obviously not in my usual spot today. For those of you who are watching, welcome to my living room. This lovely blue curtain behind me. Notice the lighting is significantly different.
And better. Because it's not fluorescent lighting from behind. Can you imagine what that would look like right now with your hair?
I would still have a halo.
Yeah.
It would be fun. This is actually all natural lighting. Actually, I don't even have a light in this room on. This is just the natural lighting in here today. I happen to think it's at least a little bit flattering based on what I can see in my camera, because I know what I look like in the mirror in the bathroom. And it is not this good, okay? Just so you guys know. It's been a rough freaking few days. I'm so tired.
I'm gonna set the new tone, and then we need to hear about how shitty things went for you the last handful of days. So I guess first things first, unfortunately, I think Rae and I have to accept the reality that we did not want to accept, in the fact that it is now just two of us officially.
Oh my God.
Our third is just, she has better things to do with her life, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So
her life is busy. Like,
it is.
They have a lot of balls in the air right now, and I could see how this would not, like, if I were her, I would make the same choice. This would not be a priority for me if I were Kayla. Yeah. She's pregnant.
About to maybe move again, and just a bunch of things that are uncertain. And we're both, Rae and I, thankfully, are relatively stable in our situation.
That's such a generous term for me today. I think as an overall, yes, that is a fair assessment. If you look at my life as a whole picture, sure, I definitely fall into stable category. But in this exact moment,
unstable is all fuck.
So, oh my God.
Yeah. And I guess on that note, because we are now 11 episodes in, and acknowledging the reality that we didn't want to face with Kayla no longer being an official part, she will sometimes maybe make appearances, is the fact that it's time for us to get a little more strategic about our content. And I think a good starting point for us, because we've been doing it for you all, is the theme of how to live authentically. And that can look so different for so many people, but just acknowledging all the ways that life tries to force us to be something that we're not, and talking through those things and hopefully inspiring people to be their best selves as we are trying to be every day. So that note, and I have more to talk about it, but Rae's had a really bad week, and
let's talk about how the world fucked me this week.
Yes, let's talk about it. And sticking with our other themes of living in rural America.
Yeah. Oh my God, guys. Okay, so when did we record last? It was Sunday.
It was our happy hour when we were together was the last time.
It was happy hour. What was that? Tuesday? Sunday? I don't even know what fucking day that was, guys.
It was a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Great. Oh yeah, we do usually record on Thursdays. So this past Thursday, when we should have been recording, which we obviously didn't, guys, by the way, it is, I don't know what day it is. It's Monday. We're recording on a Monday this week. So when we should have been recording on a Thursday, I was in the hospital with my husband who had a ruptured appendix. So this is actually a thing that happened. We suspect that he actually ruptured his appendix about 3 weeks ago, making him a legitimate medical anomaly.
What?
So he was not feeling great. Like he had some discomfort in his lower abdomen and had a sharp pain for a little bit, and then it dissipated and then it never got bad again. So he just kind of ignored it.
Wow.
So part of the thing with Liam is he is a doctor's child. His dad is a doctor.
Mm.
I don't know if, and some of you out there, I'm certain this will resonate with you. If your parent was a doctor, you're a shitty fucking patient. Like, I'm just gonna tell you, right? Every kid I've ever met whose parent was a doctor, terrible patient. And I don't know why that is. I can't think of a reason why that would be. But it's just an observation that I've made in my 38 years. And so Liam literally just like ignored his discomfort. It didn't go away all the way, but in addition to that, he has long had intestinal problems. He had his gallbladder removed 7 years ago now. And so for him to like have several uncomfortable days is not that abnormal. And so he didn't think about it much until this past week. And it got really bad again Wednesday. So then Thursday morning, Wednesday morning, he went to the hospital. He went to the walk-in clinic, which, by the way, I know we talked about this a couple episodes ago. We're transitioning primary care physicians right now. I got to go back to the doctor last week. I got my meds back last week, like on Monday. So my kids and my husband were scheduled for this week. Like Clyde's supposed to go today, Atticus tomorrow, Liam a little bit later this week. So on Wednesday, because we're not established in the new office, he just goes to the walk-in clinic. And they're like, yeah, this might be your appendix. And so they set orders for a CT scan and an x-ray. They decide not to do the x-ray. They're just going to do CT, but they don't schedule it because they're waiting for insurance approval. We have a top-notch fucking healthcare system, guys. So
that's why they didn't schedule it?
Yeah, so they got the approval, and the best they could do was get his CT. They did it at 5:45 so Wednesday night, 5:45. I was real stressed out about this because, like, that feels like a long time for me when you think that there's a problem with your appendix. And then on top of that, I'm just annoyed that they won't just fucking treat him. Like, I'm saying the insurance doesn't decide whether his appendix is ruptured or not. His appendix decided that.
Right.
And so that was the first frustration that I faced with that. And so then he goes in that evening. And at this point, guys, I think it's really important for me to clarify. He's at pain level 2 or 3, maybe. Discomfort, but not miserable. Okay. So he does a CT scan and they're like, okay, we'll call you in a little bit when this gets reviewed. It was 14 hours later. It was Thursday morning. I think it was closer to maybe 16 hours later before we got a call back from the hospital. And they're like, yeah, no, your appendix ruptured. So we definitely need to take care of that. Let's see what we can do. We'll give you a call back. Not come to the emergency room, not this is very serious. It's like, just keep waiting. I mean, at this point, whatever, right? No. The answer is not whatever. So in conjunction, the just general panic and concern that one has when their partner is struggling with a medical issue, I just got my Prozac and my Wellbutrin back. And for those of you who have taken those medications before, they don't work instantly. You need 10, 15 days of that to really feel the genuine effects of it. So I just want you all to know that I'm basically dealing with this like I've been dealing with the whole summer, without assistance. So
raw dog in life.
I am continue to raw dog life. I'm very grateful to have them back and to be on the right path, but I am still raw dogging life and it is not great. So my anxiety is through the roof and obviously exacerbated by this situation. And in addition to that, my brother who took his own life, his birthday was this week. And so I had that just kind of sitting in the back of my head. But my primary agitation was the situation that we were dealing with at the hospital. Then, so Thursday, I leave the store on Thursday, come be at home with my husband in case it gets worse, because we now know for a fact that his appendix is ruptured. We also know what the risk is. Like, he could just lose consciousness. This could be a very serious infection, and we don't know how it's going to play out because it's already been weird, right? So I call someone in, I come home from the shop, we go to the emergency room. The hospital calls back and they're like, so we have a couple choices. You can come into the emergency room and we'll work on getting you into surgery. Or we can just send an antibiotic to the pharmacy and schedule this appendectomy for a couple weeks out. How is that even a fucking choice?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
You didn't tell us this. I mean, nor should I expect you to keep us completely updated when you're in the midst of a medical emergency. But
yeah, those are real words that they said to my husband.
Oh my God. Do they have real doctors working there?
Maybe. So we had someone come into the shop, went to the emergency room. So this is like ish in the morning, and my anxiety was very high. It has set in now to my husband that this is a problem. And he is a much cooler cucumber than I am. But while we were in the emergency room, once we got in there and like registered, like they were on it because they could see the CT scan, like they knew what was going on. And so the nurse comes out and she's like, this is not what I was expecting to see. You should not be as cool as you are. Well, how are you not hurting? And he's like, I don't know. I'm just that. And so we get back into the room and they're doing all the questions, blah, blah, blah. And we had a moment that I think has set the tone for everything that has happened over the last 4 days. A moment between my husband and I, where the nurse asked him if he was a smoker, and he said, I used to be. I interrupted him because I was literally at my wit's end with this scenario already. And he smoked 3 cigarettes that morning, guys. There's no used to be. My husband is a smoker right now. And so I interrupted him, and all of his coolness left his body.
Oh, wow.
And so he reacted to me having interrupted him and was like, you need to fucking stop. If you're going to do this, you can leave. I know that exact moment has set the tone for the last several days with us, because my capacity to handle this like a cool person is severely compromised. And he's been dealing with me being compromised all fucking summer.
Right.
And so here we are, just basically at this impasse. So I internalized that, obviously. And so then we get through all the things, and I'm not in a great mood. He's not in a great mood. They finally get surgery scheduled for 4. We got to the ER again, closer to 11 when we got into the ER. And they scheduled him for surgery at 4. So we're getting all the things sorted. He goes into surgery. An appendectomy on average is about 45 minutes. If it's laparoscopic, which is what the plan was, his surgery was almost 2 hours. And it was laparoscopic, but it was long because there was a lot of infected area and grossness that needed to be cleared out, which has ultimately left him in more pain now. So we got through surgery. He got out. Pain management has been our biggest problem. Thursday night was really rough. All the hospitals was giving him is literally Tylenol.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
So he did get another anti-inflammatory, but basically he was getting acetaminophen every 4 hours for pain management.
Not sufficient.
So it was really rough.
Not after your actual gut have been molested in ways that are not normal.
Yeah.
Because of all the removal of stuff that needed to occur. Oh my God.
So fun fact, guys, the hospital that we were at, they give you a little sheet of pictures after your surgery.
That is absolutely strange.
It was great. I mean, when the surgeon came in to talk to me, it was really great that he had a visual and could help me to really understand what had been and why recovery was going to be long. The surgeon was grateful to not have to cut him open. They were able to do it all laparoscopic, because that would have made this whole situation infinitely worse. It was gross though. I'm not grossed out by it because I've seen a bunch of these things before, but I was asking friends. I was like, you guys want to see the gross picture? And about half of them were like, yes. And the other half are like, I will kill you. Don't. No, thank you.
I was actually scared to check our messages because I saw you had asked if we wanted to see. I figured Kayla would be like, hell yeah, let's do this. And so I was like, scrolling delicately. Thank you for asking first. But I thought if she was going to say yes, and if Rae sent this, I'm just going to have to go really fast and not actually look at it.
I would have just sent them directly to her. I wouldn't have put them in the group. I would have sent them just to her. I had to do that in a different group chat also, because there were a couple people who were like, absolutely not. And then a couple of them were like, yes. Why are you asking? Just send them.
I mean, there is a part of me that is extremely curious. I'll be honest.
You don't want to see these ones.
I used
like
to
if it were just like normal surgery pictures where it's kind of bloody, whatever. But no, because the tissue is quite torn up and there's like oozy pus in one of them. Yeah.
I used to go to rotten.com a lot when I was a teenager. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could. There's a such thing as like real gore because it's real pictures of people who have like blown their brains out. But it's also someone that I don't know, and I can kind of like remove the reality from it because of that.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's Liam, I think would make it more gross. No offense. Knowing anyone, because it's like real person and they're like, ooze. Like, no thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got to see him. So that's Thursday night. And so they tell us they're obviously keeping him that night because he's at a higher risk for an abscess. Based on the damage that was in there, they want to do IV antibiotics. So he stayed there Thursday night. Yeah, he came home yesterday. So then Friday was out doing stuff and things. I worked part of the day. It was a friend's birthday. I stopped into the kids. I let the kids stay home from school, and they went down and hung out with him for a little while, played games. He obviously is not moving very well. He wasn't feeling great, but I don't think there's anything more depressing than sitting in a hospital room by yourself. And he had friends that stopped by to see him. I saw him on Friday afternoon. Our daughter went and hung out there Friday evening while I went and hung out with our friends. So he ended up having to stay another night because they wanted to have 48 hours of the IV antibiotics. So he got to come home Saturday night. Saturday there was an event in the park that's adjacent to our downtown. And neither of my staff people were available to work. So I worked all day Saturday.
Yeah.
Which was the day that he came home. But again, my kids, we had friends that stopped in and checked on him, so he wasn't by himself in the hospital. I went to pick him up on Saturday night, and he came home Saturday night. We struggled all night with pain management. It was really bad. We've got him set up downstairs. We have a sectional that's got a recliner. So he's in the recliner so he can adjust and put the air mattress downstairs in that room so that I could sleep down there in case he needed help getting up at night to go to the restroom. So I'm not getting great sleep. On almost a full meltdown. All of the clothes that I own are laying on my bed right now because I couldn't figure out I couldn't put clothes on. I had so many things in my brain and I was worried and just I had too many things and they're still there. It's Monday afternoon, guys. My bed is still covered with all of the clothes from my closets. Everything is just piled on my bed. Even thinking about having to clean that up, I just want to cry. It's so stupid. Like, fuck. So yesterday was a really bad day with pain, and Liam's very uncomfortable and he's grumpy, and I don't have the mental capacity, literally don't have it. So it was just, we were back and forth with each other all day. Had to go up to our room a handful of times just to like cry it out because I didn't want to cry in front of him. Because doing that, I was getting one of two reactions. I'm the one who had surgery. Like, I'm the one who's broken. Why are you bitching? Or him feeling guilty for asking for things when he shouldn't need to feel guilty.
Right.
Like, he had a major surgery, a major emergency surgery that none of us were prepared for. And so, like, all of the cards are stacked against us right now. So then I worked all day Saturday. I'm sure none of you are surprised to know that Lindsey and I clearly lean very liberal. The guest that we had in town on Saturday was Ted fucking Nugent.
I forgot about that.
So I had in my brain, fortunately, it was a pretty mild day in the store. Despite having a significant increase in traffic in town, did not make a difference. In fact, we may have had a lower day than a usual Saturday in the shop.
Wait a minute. Okay, so Ted Nugent, what was his involvement? Like, if questions, because
he wrote the Fred Bear song, and
I know who he is because
they were dedicating a statue to Fred Bear in the city park because we're the home of bear archery.
Oh
Well,
my
former
God.
home. It moved to Florida after a labor dispute.
Oh my God.
Which coincidentally, like Fred Bear's archery factory leaving Grayling caused a very serious economic depression in our community. Now we put a statue up for him.
That's great. And then when you have a celebrity who comes to, I guess, christen it, and it then has negative impacts on the small businesses, despite the fact that a lot of people are there, there's some stupid irony in that situation.
The literal very first customers that walked into the store that day walked around and were taking pictures of books and saying, I'm putting these on my list to order when we get home.
Fuck you. Whoever those people were, I am saying it. Rae thought it. Fuck you. Oh my God, that is the worst thing you could ever possibly do to a person.
Don't do that.
What the fuck?
It's one thing if you're gonna like yourself notes, be like, oh, that's a book I want to read, or that sounds interesting. And I get it, like not every person who walks in the door can buy all 15 books that they want. I'm not knocking that at all. I'm happy for you to come in and like build your to read list. I'll talk to you about books. I'm into that. But to like just so blatantly, no, thank you. It's just rude. Honestly, it's just rude. And that's how I started the day on Saturday. Fortunately, there were minimal incidents in town from what I understand. It got off to a little bit of a rocky start with some foolish gun owners. There was one arrest in the park preceding the events. But that seems to be it. And I did see clips of Ted's speech and his chats that he had while he was there, and it seems that he did keep it pretty specific to bow hunting, which I think was really respectful. I appreciate that. Just as a person, not even like as a Democrat or a liberal, like just you're there for a specific thing.
Yeah,
let's stay on point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that does seem to be the case. I didn't watch everything. I didn't care. I didn't want to, but the pieces that I saw and the things that I heard say that he kept it pretty on point and did a good job, did what he was there to do, just did respectful work for that. It did make for a long day though, because I was in the shop all day by myself, 9 to 6. I did not want my kids to come down because I had some anxieties about the crowd that might be downtown. Both of my kids are a little queer. I wasn't going to run that risk of them, having to deal with someone who was being an asshat. I didn't have the capacity for that. I was willing to go to jail. If someone came in and said something done, I would have absolutely thrown down on Saturday. That's where I was. There would have been no chill about it.
There would have been another news story.
There would have been. I would have been the second arrest that day. I had no chill, none whatsoever. But fortunately, it wasn't too bad. It was a mild day. Sales were down a little bit for a normal Saturday in this season, but overall, probably the best I could have hoped for, honestly. So then Liam came home on Saturday night. All night Saturday we struggled. All day Sunday we struggled. Yesterday was really difficult. I texted his sister. I'm just going to read you exactly what I told her because I was so frustrated. And this was late in the day. Said to her, I need you to know that the odds of your brother dying by my hand have gone up exponentially with every passing minute today. I was so tired. I was so worn out. That was yesterday, which, by the way, would have been my brother Tim's 30th birthday. So all of those back of my mind things that I was dealing with at the start of this crept in all day long.
Yeah.
They wormed their little way forward to think about a milestone birthday that my brother is not, that we're not getting to celebrate, on top of my husband being an absolute fucking asshole, on top of me probably not being as kind as I could have been considering the situation. All of those things. I was standing in the grocery store. April called me after I sent her that text. I'm standing in the grocery store because Liam wanted juice, and so I went to the store to fucking get juice. And I'm just crying, talking to her on the phone. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know what to do with anything. I was just spent.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a genuine appreciation for all my friends who have checked in with me, checked in on Liam. I gave us the space that we needed. We had a couple of people ask yesterday afternoon, like, hey, can we stop by, drop something off, say hi? Sure, if you want to watch us fight, that's great. If you want to watch a sick man and his bitch wife bicker at each other, come on over, because that's what you're gonna fucking get.
You're not a bitch, though.
It was
Can I just
exhausting.
say?
I appreciate that, and
You're
I
not.
know in my heart that is accurate. I just that is because I'm not, and I have to go to work tonight too. Like I have to put on a happier face and go sell books this afternoon. We closed the store on Sunday,
Yeah.
because I just couldn't deal with it. So I
You
just
couldn't
closed the door.
pretend.
I think that's actually the first day that we've closed the store for an unscheduled closure in 2 years. So I mean, I'm kind of proud of us for that. That's good.
Celebrate the small things.
So that's how the chaos that has been my life for 4 days now. I'm glad that you want to talk about being authentic, because this morning I did a thing that I knew would help me to get back on track. 3 people got messages from me this morning that were very specific and just showed gratitude to some people for things in my life. And 2 of them were just stupid little things that are probably inconsequential to those people. They're probably reading my message being like, okay, bro, sure. Love you too. And one of the people, I sent a message to her, and she replied, she's like, what did you do? And I was like, nothing. I just practicing gratitude to try and turn my mood around. That's all. And she was like, why is niceness so suspect to me?
Right.
I was like, I don't know, buddy.
That is the thing
That's weird, but it's not.
Yeah. I was gonna say we all need to like trust
Yeah.
kindness a little bit more than we do, but it's not loaded with some sort of request.
Yeah. Well, so one of the other messages I sent is my friend Tasha. She is the one who introduced Liam and I to Lucas, my little friend Lucas, and his wife Faith. His wife Faith is a nurse, actually at the hospital that we were at. I did not realize until literally this morning, Lucas is an important person to me. I really thoroughly enjoy being his friend. He is super cool. He's always super chill. He just brings like great energy to everything. I don't think I've ever seen him upset. I don't know if he knows how to be upset. I'm so grateful to know him. And his wife Faith is a delight. She brings a different kind of perspective to our friend group. I am much better friends with Lucas than I am Faith, but I don't want to discount their value as a couple to us. And so started to send this message to Tasha as part of this like attitude thing, right? I really appreciate that I got to meet Lucas through you. That is really cool. He has become a very good friend, and I'm so glad to know him. And as I'm typing this message to her, it occurs to me, Lucas is 30. He turned 30 earlier this summer.
Oh my God.
I think that Lucas has been my surrogate brother for 7 years now, 6 years that I've known him. And it didn't occur to me until today that I do all the things with him that I would do with a little brother. As I was having this very short 3-text exchange with Natasha, she replies to me and she says, "Oh, that's so sweet." And in that exact moment, when I read her response, I was like, oh my God, I've been treating him like he's the brother that I lost.
Wow.
I put that in words to her because I think that's very important. And I'm happy that I said I honestly didn't realize how much I need him in my life until now. He is the same age my brother Tim would be, and I think I've spent the last several years with him basically being my surrogate little brother without realizing it. So I am so freaking thankful so very, very much. So that's where I'm at today. I'm not going to try not to cry. So.
It's okay. So I had some crying that I got to do today as well. And since we're on that kind of vibe wavelength right now, I guess I had a therapy appointment this morning. And I also had one on Friday. So this was like not a lot of days in between. It's been a while since I've been to therapy because I was in a transitional phase as far as like not knowing what my health insurance was going to be like. And I owed her some outstanding bills that I wanted to be able to pay before I went back. So I didn't feel guilty. Even though she didn't hold me to that, it was just a thing that I was doing. And so the last appointment was really just me kind of catching her up on all the things that's happened since the last time I saw her. And then today, because it's only been a few days, I was kind of like, well, I don't really know what to talk about. The typical thing that I'm sure happens in a lot of therapy sessions is as I started to sort through thoughts of what I thought were mundane instances. The thing that made me start crying, which is so interesting, was this is the way I was framing it. When I moved to Charlevoix, I started to meet a bunch of people who, in my opinion, were living dream-like lives because of the fact that a lot of people have figured out how to make money and not work for other people, and have always kind of thought, well, isn't it nice? I know. Isn't it nice for them that they're so privileged that they have, made their life the way that, that it is. And there's one handful that I can point to that they're their own boss, they're young, and I always kind of felt like that's good for them. I'm envious, and that's never going to be how my life is. But the fact that now I am only 40, I say only, and I am actually living that life now all of a sudden, and it's still only like a month old. This reality is only a month old, so that's why it's taking me a minute. I did it, and
you did. Good job.
It's really weird. And the reason why I started crying, and I'm probably going to cry again, is because I feel like this year has been a transformative year for me. And I have yet to feel like I've properly celebrated and acknowledged the amazing things that have happened. And also really bad things. But I feel like it started when my birthday sucked a little bit. Where I was like,
boo, it's fine. I was there. Your birthday sucked a lot. Okay. But
yes.
like it was not ideal.
Right. And so that combined with me trying to go see a movie when no one could go with me. And okay, I just want to go see a fucking movie so I can have someone to talk to about the thing with. And not a single person in my life could go. And then this big thing happening where I can quit my day job and be my own boss, and still only having one person in my life who was like, fuck yes, that's amazing for you. I mean, not one, but in my immediate circle, the response was more like, okay, I hope it works out, instead of this is everything that you've dreamed of and you've worked for, and let's fucking celebrate. No one has done that with me. And I shouldn't have to depend on people for it, but it also sucks that I'm not surrounded by people that would be like, hell yeah, Let's bust a bottle open kind of thing. So it's really sad that I haven't felt like I'm properly acknowledging this huge thing. And I made my mind up afterwards that I'm like, gonna make a plan and it's gonna be ridiculous because I don't know, I don't know. There's so many things to be thankful for, and on your track with gratitude and the fact that until now I've been living very inauthentically because of where we live. There's a lot of reasons to have a big old party, basically. Yeah. And I also want to touch on the fact that I am legitimately, so not that I was doing it on purpose. I think it was just a thing that I'm conditioned to do because of where I live. But we didn't say out loud until this episode that we're liberal, right?
Yeah. And we've hinted.
But we haven't like fully leaned into it. And I think that is a part of the problem with where we live and who we are. Not wanting to ask your children, these are kids, to simply come into your business because you're worried about what might happen or what someone might say because Ted Nugent's in town. Can we talk about how fucking horrible and sad that is?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like when you said that, I'm like, we're not hiding anymore. Let's put it out there. Let's lean into the fact that we are liberal women living in red country. And it's not just us that's being affected. It's our kids.
Yeah.
It's everything. And that's not okay.
I am very grateful that nothing happened.
Yeah.
And I do think that that's important for me to say.
Right.
I had fears that I don't think are unfounded.
No.
And I'm very grateful that nothing abnormal came about it. Nothing that I would have felt uncomfortable with my kids having to deal with. But the fact that I had to even think it is really frustrating. I will concede to you guys though, I woke up that morning and chose violence. I sent a picture to the group chat. I wore my pro row shirt, okay? Like I woke up and chose violence that day. I own that. I think part of it was I maybe kind of wanted someone to fight me because there's a lot built up. But my daughter got yelled at over Bibles a few weeks ago. A person came into our store. We carry Bibles, by the way. I don't have a bunch of them. I have those little fucking Bible tab things too. We have a small religious section, and someone came in, and my daughter's 14 years old, guys. She looks like a teenager. She's not a grown-up. And yelled at her that we didn't have a larger Christian section and that we only had 2 Bibles on the shelf. Do note, they did not purchase anything. They didn't buy a Bible. They just yelled at her about us not carrying more Bibles.
Cool. That was very Christian of them.
She called me crying. She was like, I don't want to stay here anymore, Mom. Like, can you please come in and relieve me? I don't want to be here now. That's shitty.
That is stupid.
And I've gotten flack about other miscellaneous things. Like someone always thinks that you're biased or you're not doing this or that or whatever, right? But that agitated me. That was this summer. Yeah. That's dumb. And not sending my kids to work on Saturday because I had some anxieties. And I don't even want to speculate on if if all of my brain was working properly, would I still have made that choice? I don't know. But the current state that I'm in, that is the choice that I made. And that's exactly why I made it. Because I did not want my kids to have to deal with that. So I worked all day while my husband was in the hospital so that my kids could also be safe.
Right.
That's just a testament to the balance that we're forced to make sacrifice for. And I think that there are a lot of people who maybe don't recognize all of those little things because they only are seeing part of that. Well, you're a small business owner. Of course, you need to be in your business. You're right. I do. I am a small business owner and I should be in my business and I'm happy to do that. But I also have 2 teenage kids who I shouldn't have to worry about them being in my business and being unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a husband who in that same time was literally sitting in the hospital, guys. He just had emergency surgery. Those are three very conflicting things that I'm having to deal with at the same time. And I can name 7 people in my life who knew all of those things going on at the time. And I could probably list 100 people who were sitting behind a screen judging me on Sunday when I closed my store.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Oh my God. And so the fact that you had to make accommodations for the community because you really needed a bit of a break to take care of yourself and Saturday because you didn't ask your kids to come help because you were concerned about their potential safety. And we're not talking like physical harm because there's psychological as well. That is a thing to acknowledge.
Yeah, I didn't think someone would come in the shop and be violent. I literally just thought it would be a bunch of jackasses.
Yeah, people being dicks. And you were trying to shield them from that. You're not accommodating your own needs because of the fact that
This is the place where I live.
Yeah. And not taking care of your family. And then when you do, you're met with judgment. And that is the stupid fucking society that we have created. And that is why, even though Rae is the person that has been probably solely responsible for me finally trying to live authentically.
Faith is a nurse. Faith is actually coming over this afternoon to hang out with Liam
while
I'm at the store because I can't leave him by himself. He's basically a toddler right now. He can feed himself and he pees in the potty, but cannot be left alone. Absolutely not.
I think it's depressing and stupid, and it's something worthy of noting that you, the best authentic liver of life, are not able to live the life that you need to live because of politics, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. So. It's a frustrating place to be. I don't want to sound like a giant a-hole or have whole concept of this. We live in a red place where everyone's a jerk because whatever. There are plenty of people in our community, in my community, that have differing opinions from me and are perfectly cordial. We don't, because that's not, our whole lives are not politics. That's such a small fraction how we exist in the world. It is really frustrating that we're in a time period right now where it is taking up so much brain space. Like, it's taking up so much brain space. I let it compromise my relationship with my partner, who I've been with for 18 years. We have the same ideology, and somehow politics are still pissing us off at each other. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's, I'm really glad, Lindsey, though, to hear that you are finally going to settle in. Living the life that you build. Like, you did a great job. This is just the start, buddy. I also think that it is very nice. I was thinking about this. Obviously, I read a lot of books, and I feel like I read a lot of stories with characters that are in their like late 20s and early 30s that somehow have it together. Like, I'm clearly living in a fucking fantasy land because like reading in a fantasy land, obviously. Like, I feel like it's been a while since I read a book that I had characters that were genuine to our generation. And I'm not knocking these stories. Like, for the record, I keep reading the books. I love reading smut about 27-year-olds who, run their own construction companies and do it all over their desk. Like, fucking great, okay? But being 27 and owning your own very successful business where you can literally just dick off in the middle of the day, no, that's not a reality. And I do think that it is an accomplishment to say at 40, or I'm only 40, and you get to live this life. That is an accomplishment. The majority of people don't get to do this.
Yeah.
They just don't. And so it is very cool. And it is a thing that I'm glad that you're going to be more authentic and embrace better. I am proud of you. I know I tell you that, but
You're not one of the people that has not made me feel good about it. But anyway, we have a lot more coming as far as I feel like I'm a person of privilege at this point, which I absolutely am. But it has not been an easy road from day one. And I think sharing some of that will help others understand that, like, even when you don't even have faith in yourself, good things can happen.
Get excited, guys. We'll still be funny. Don't worry. Dumb things still happen in our lives. I feel like these last couple of weeks have not been anomalies. In my opinion, the last couple of weeks, the strife of the last, 20 days, has been an anomaly in our lives. I'm very excited to share and properly medicated what I feel like is a more genuine part of me with you guys in the next few weeks. I'm looking forward to that. And also, like, just being helpful. Like, Lindsey, we had this chat earlier in the group chat about being a better value to our listeners. Yes, we're still going to tell you our stupid stories because that is probably the best part of our lives.
Absolutely.
But it occurred to us that we're kind of smart.
We are smart.
We do things that I think other people might be apprehensive about, and it is our duty to share our lessons and our experiences with you guys and maybe change someone else's life.
Inspire other people like you inspire me, Rae.
Thanks. That's very sweet. I'm gonna go cry while I get my pants on. I don't have pants on, guys. I have shorts on. I'm not sitting around. And you know what? I put a bra on before I turn the camera on too.
Good job.
Which is not a thing that I have done in 2 days. It's been a long one. I did take 7 minutes of a shower. It's fine.
Well, keep doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, my friend.
Yeah. You too, buddy.
I hope.
Maybe tell your therapist thank you.
Yeah, and I hope Liam starts to feel better so that things will get lighter and lighter every day.
We did make a breakthrough on the pain situation last night.
Was it through illegal substances? Because it seems like I would resort to that if I were him. But...
no.
Illegal or legal? Never mind.
It was a medication that was prescribed to him previous to this experience.
That makes sense.
So it was his.
Yeah.
Just not for this situation. He hadn't taken a little bit previously, so we had a couple of Norcos floating around the house.
They're so good.
They are so good. So that genuinely turned the tables last night. We had been hesitant to do other than what we were instructed to do, which was Tylenol. Was not cutting it. So we had a Norco, and we talked to his sister, who is a nurse, about some alternatives. So she gave us a couple recommendations on changing. We started alternating. So he does acetaminophen, and then 3 hours later, ibuprofen, and then 3 hours after that, acetaminophen. So he's not too heavy on either of them in any given period of time.
And there's not a gap, basically.
Right. Correct. Cool. So that Norco got us on the right track, and since then we're on this new regimen with switching it up, and it's going well today. Moving, he's eating, and Faith is here to babysit him so I can go sling some books. The kids don't get home from school till about 3:15, 3:20. In 2 hours was just too long of a gap for us. So that's the thing for today, is just getting through. And it is a Monday. Is not gonna get high with us tonight for High Movie Monday. Probably will, though.
I hope
I also want you guys to know I have been sober since Thursday.
Oh my God. That's no bueno.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't even self-medicating. I was terrified that I would be too high to help him, that I would not be the right amount of effective. But if I needed to help him up and I have poor balance, on Friday night I did have a few drinks. I did drink on Friday night, but he was in the hospital. I didn't have to pick him up.
Right.
So
you weren't responsible.
I didn't have to take care of him.
At that point. Yeah.
Definitely after I'm done slinging books today, take some Eddies, smoke a joint, and probably watch a stupid ass movie. I'm gonna see if Faith wants to hang out. I mean, Lucas always comes. Faith is hit or miss, and if she wants to hang out with us for High Movie Monday, because it's not her jam. So she doesn't do drugs. On top of that, she mostly thinks the movies we watch are stupid, which, in her defense, not wrong.
Right? And that's the reason why drugs makes it fun.
Yeah, that's exactly why they make the list. Which BT Dubs, Beetlejuice. It's not a great movie, but it was funny. So I did enjoy it. We saw it this weekend. It's not a great movie. Definitely some weird plot holes, and they definitely smushed some things together, but there were also some very funny parts. I will watch it again. I will have to get super high to ignore a couple of the pieces that are just dumb. But best, I got a Halloween costume out of it, which I'm really excited for. So one of the moms, she's like a Girl Scout troop mom or something. She's a real estate agent, and her costume is a reverse mortgage. What? And it's a sweater that has mortgage spelled backwards. I died laughing. Oh my God. I was sitting next to Sharon. I embarrassed Sharon. I was laughing so fucking hard. I legitimately embarrassed her. I have 12 minutes to put pants on and get to the store.
So, I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Bye. Bang, bang.
Goes the Cougar Magnum. If you like this episode, please remember to subscribe to our podcast and head to doublechinswagon.com to learn how you can email or call our hotline to share your thoughts on our recent discussions. We love to interact with you and are always looking for guests as well. Thanks so much for listening. Now go and live your best life today.